and welcome back or welcome to my channel. I first off just want to start by saying thank you so much to my new subscribers, and I finally hit 100, so thank you guys. My last video got a lot of attention. It was very important to me. If any of you watched it, it was a very emotional video for me, but it's very special, and thank you so much for all the support on that last video. But I'm going to dive into this video. I did a tally on Facebook, asking you guys which video you wanted to see first. I went ahead and decided to do this video first, obviously. So I hope you guys enjoy, and let's get started. Okay, so when I was first diagnosed with my first chronic illness was Goodpasture syndrome, and I was 13. So obviously at the time I didn't have a job and I didn't work. But I got my kidney transplant when I was 16, and I started actually working when I was 15 years old while I was on PD dialysis. I worked at a snow cone shop at my mall across the street, and I like traveled with them. We worked at like little event centers and stuff, but I only worked that job for like 6 months. And then I got my kidney transplant when I was 16, and I went back to school, finished senior year, and as soon as I graduated, I got my first like actual like real job, I guess you could say. It was a cashier. I had like little jobs here and there, but I was going to school as well. I was going to college. I started going to college, and I was working. So going to school and working was so much on my body. Only a year after transplant, I was trying to live a normal life as much as I could. I was like, all right, I'm healthy now. I'm gonna go to school and I'm gonna go work and I'm gonna have a normal life. But that was really hard on me, so I wasn't able to do both. So I went ahead and I just worked full time because I wanted to major in biology. I wanted to get into the medical field, but because I spent so much time in the hospital already, I didn't want to have a career based around the hospital as well. So I decided to step back from school and go back once I was really passionate about what I wanted to do. So I went ahead and just had been working ever since. I got a serving job, which kind of helped me work my way up, and I've been serving since I was 18, so about 5 years. I currently work at the Cheesecake Factory. That was my full-time job. I worked there for I was working 6 days a week. That was my full-time job for the past year and a half, and then recently I actually just started a job at a real estate company. So I do the Cheesecake Factory about 2 to 3 days a week, and then I work every other day at the real estate company. The real estate company that I work for is managed by my mom, so it's very helpful with the days that I'm sick. She's obviously very understanding. But working with a chronic illness is not easy at all. I can't even count the amount of times that I've literally had to throw up in the bathroom at work and then go back to serve tables. They don't care. I'll tell my manager, hey, I'm throwing up at the bathroom. They'll be like, okay, I don't care. You have to go finish off your tables. You have an 8-hour shift. So there's multiple times where I'm waking up in the morning, throwing up for hours, have to go to work, throwing up at the bathroom for hours during my whole 7-8 hour shift, and then after work I just have to go home and either go to the emergency room or just deal with it. Yeah, honestly, it's basically just sucking it up and dealing with it, because if you leave, you're fired. I mean, serving in general was a lot harder on my body, and I had been serving at little easy restaurants like Johnny Rockets, if anybody knows what that is, or Chili's. I'm sure a lot of people know what Chili's is. But going from that to the craziness of pace of this place, I was sick all the time. And even still, 5 years later and working, my body is still can't handle all of this work. I moved out to Los Angeles last September, and that's when I kept my job with Cheesecake Factory. I moved to a different location in LA, and that job was still, the pace of it was very different for me, and getting used to a new location and everything. So I was sick again, and just actually 3 months after moving out to LA and moving to that location, I ended up getting diagnosed with my ulcerative colitis. and figuring out that a lot of the problem with me throwing up all the time was because of the ulcerative colitis. And as well, I also had to take off a month from work when I moved to that location. And when I came back from work, I remember sitting down with my general manager and we were just having a talk about, coming back to work and getting settled and everything. And one of her first sentences to me was, there was a bit of a confusion as to whether you were really sick or not. And the look on my face, I just remember I was like, whether I was sick or not, there was confusion as to whether I was sick or not. And this was after I had presented all of my doctor's notes, like paperwork of she was admitted from these dates to these dates. She still had the audacity to say, yeah, there was some confusion as to whether you were really sick or not. So I was beside myself, especially because the location that I worked at was a corporate location. So I was just kind of like, okay. I didn't say anything. I was about to like pull up pictures and okay, whatever. But it didn't change, obviously, this lady and her mentality toward me and believing that yet again, this was made up or whatever, as I've had happen my whole life. People believe I'm faking this, or people believe, oh my gosh, like, are you really sick? Like, do you really need to take medication? Like, just the amount of things that people tell you is insane. And a lot of people are also faced with the decision of disability, which I have very much been thinking about, because January I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis and I've been struggling with body pain for so long. I had markers for lupus when I was first diagnosed with my first autoimmune disease in 2010, but because I had my other autoimmune disease, they didn't think the markers for lupus were accurate, so they ignored that. So I was just diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, I want to say maybe 2 months ago. So now that I'm getting more diagnoses and things are happening to my body, and I'm only 23, I really have been thinking a lot about going on disability, especially because my job is a lot of physical running around and moving and carrying heavy weight and stuff. So I've been thinking about going on disability. I actually am also in the process of getting my real estate license, so that will definitely not be carrying weight, stress, running around everywhere. Be a different type of stress, but a lot less is what I'm handling right now. As soon as I did get healthy, I wanted to regain life back. I felt like I had missed so much, so I was like diving into school, I was diving into working, I just wanted to have my life back. And so I made sure that I got my life back. I really wanted to make this video because working in general is very hard. Nobody likes getting up on Monday. Nobody likes getting up any day and going to work, unless it's something that you absolutely love to do and you're absolutely 100% blessed to have a job that you're super happy to go to. But even on days, I'm sure you're like, oh, I don't want to get up at 8 a.m. Like, it's just not something you want to do. So waking up on a machine, or waking up with 30 to 40 different medications, waking up with no desire, waking up in pain, waking up hurting, waking up throwing up, and having to push yourself to go to work after that is so hard. To just push yourself, and especially because everybody knows these diseases bring on depression horribly. And to fight the depression, to fight all of that, and to be able to get out of bed and to go to work is a lot to do. And people don't credit you for that. People don't credit you at all. People don't realize a lot of it is invisible diseases. It's so funny because I'll see people walking around with, I have my scar right here, but I'll see people walking around with like, their little catheters, and it's very rarely, but when I do, like, it's honestly like, it's kind of crazy to me. Like, nobody knows. And I remember when I had my PD catheter, I'd go to water parks, or I had my hemo, people would always give me looks because people don't know, you know, they don't know like what it is. Like it really is an invisible disease, and nobody believes you, really, especially when it comes down to Crohn's, ulcerative colitis, rheumatoid arthritis. People, you know, people can't see that. And your kidney disease, people can't see that your kidneys are failing. That's happening from the inside. Your body, all of those diseases, your body is breaking from the inside. And it doesn't always show on the outside. So, you know, walking around with a smile on your face and everything, like I'm healthy and, you know, this is just great. It's not always like that. And like I said, I've had a lot of problems with, you know, people like, are you really sick? Like, are you really in pain though? Like, you know, just take some Tylenol, like you're okay. It's aggravating to say the least. And I know a lot of you can agree. But I just want to say I've read all of your comments. I've read majority of your messages. I've tried to get to most of them, but honestly, like, hearing everybody's story is amazing. Like, I don't think we don't give each other, ourselves, enough credit for everything that we go through. Like I said, to just wake up and get out of bed every morning after being hooked up to a machine, knowing you have to take like 30 to 40 different medications, being in pain, all of these things, and you still manage to get up and get out of bed. You do that. You do it with a smile on your face, and you take on life and you make the best of it. And I had to tell myself that when I was in the hospital, because literally you have to be happy wherever you wake up. I'm blessed that when I wake up in my bedroom, that's, you know, obviously, I'm blessed to wake up in a hospital. I'm blessed to wake up. And I think we all need to remember that. You know, our families is what a lot of us cling to for support. And we just need to know that that's what we're fighting for. That's what we're working for. That's what's keeping us alive. And when you're having those hard days at work, those days where you just want to quit because you're so sick and you just can't do it anymore, just remember what you're fighting for. And, you know, things will probably always be difficult. I'm not gonna, you know, be like, things are gonna be smooth, things are gonna get perfect. Nothing's ever gonna be perfect, especially with an autoimmune disease. It's going to be hard. And it's gonna be bumpy, but you have to make the best of it. Because those great days, they're gonna be great. You have to take those days and make the best of them. You're never gonna have a good day if you don't. Because every day is painful. So if you look at every day and take the bad of it, you're never gonna see the positivity in life. So with that said, and that little pep talk, I just wanna thank all of you so much for the support and all the positivity and just everything. Thank you guys so much. I really hope you enjoyed this video. And I hope you're all having a wonderful day and feeling great. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks.